tips that can help, call 911. The man accused of stabbing a Rochester police officer in the face and head multiple times is back in court today. Keith Williams is facing multiple charges, including attempted aggravated murder. Police say he attacked Officer Denny Wright at a home on Peck Street in 2019. Officer Wright was released from the hospital 3 weeks later, but is now blind. Last month, Williams was deemed competent to stand trial. His hearing was set to start at the Hall of Justice at 11 this morning. We'll bring you the latest later at 5 and 6. The Rochester man charged in the U.S. Capitol riots was supposed to be in court today, but his hearing has been pushed back to next week. Prosecutors say Dominic Pizzola is a member of the far right group, the Proud Boys, which organized and planned part of the insurrection. They say Pizzola was wearing an earpiece and talking to others as they stormed into the U.S. Capitol building. He's accused of stealing a riot shield and using it to smash windows. Well, happening right now, President Biden continues his West Coast swing today, trying to drum up public support for his spending priorities.
News 10 NBC on the radio. Weekdays at 5 a.m., noon, 5, 6, and 11 on the WYSL stations. WYSL.
Now, an hour of clarity for exhausted people of our nation mired in toxic
That's what I say about Joe Biden and his spending priorities.
Us versus them. While we pay to keep our politicians fighting, how do we, the people, rise up and solve the great challenges of our time? We do it by embracing freedom and liberty. There may be no such thing as a free lunch, but this hour is as close as it gets. Welcome to A Free Solution.
All right, everybody, it's Tim O'Connor. I have the ultimate honor of filling in for Larry Sharp today. Let's be honest, he is the draw. I am the support staff. But guys, it's September 14th, 2021. This is A Free Solution. We're live on the radio on WYSL out in Rochester. We're going to be broadcast later on in the day on WACK. And look, I know that we've talked, your radio hosts, your friends, we've all talked about September 11th. But I didn't have an opportunity to put my spin, my thoughts on it. And I do kind of want to take this opportunity to discuss with you my views on what happened, my views on our reality. As always, questions, comments, guys, you can comment online. You can call into the radio station. You can talk to me directly. The first segment I'm going to dedicate to 9/11. And so I just want to talk about how we ended up in Afghanistan. And I want to talk about the fact I can remember, and I'm sure many of you can remember exactly where you were on September 11th, 2001. And I was basically, I've been a contractor for a long time, and I was just building a little log cabin out in Middlefield, New York, which just so happens to have a tiny little airport there. And somewhere around 9 o'clock in the morning, I was listening to the radio in my truck, and the news broke, right? That a plane had flown into one of the twin towers, and I just could feel that disaster, that pit in your stomach, that moment of, oh my God, is this really happening? And then approximately 30 minutes later, if I recall correctly, Tower 2 got hit by an airplane. And then we heard about the Pentagon getting hit. And then we heard about the heroes on Flight 93. And what in a time it was. I mean, we had cell phones back then, believe it or not. So I immediately tried to get on the phone with some of my friends, some of my family, to talk about the impact of the situation. But as I was working, guys, this is an interesting little story. That, like I said, there's a little tiny airport up in Middlefield, New York. And I could hear planes taking off, and I could hear a plane take off about 9:45, 10 o'clock in the morning. And all of a sudden, I could hear this crushing sound of jets flying through the air. And it turns out, right, that somewhere around the time all the planes got grounded, a family had decided to go up and see if they could take a look at the situation and fly down by the city, or allegedly or purportedly that was the story. But they had scrambled some fighter jets to ask those people to stop, cease and desist, and get back on the ground, which they did, and it was done successfully, and no one was hurt. And guys, it just added an interesting aspect to the day. But so much happened that day. So much happened. I can remember Glenn Beck. Guys, I've been a big fan of talk radio for years, and this is a blast for me. Okay, sharing my thoughts on the radio with you. This is a blast for me. So we get back to September 11th and what happened there, and how Glenn Beck kind of started that 9/12 project. And I want to say that there was a moment in time, a moment in my life where everybody came together, the day after 9/11 and the weeks after 9/11, and wow, okay, so that's hitting me pretty hard. I apologize for the emotion. I usually keep that stuff in check, but those weeks, those days after 9/11 were an amazing time in American history. And I'm sure you've heard other talk show hosts speak on this subject, but the conclusions that we drew at that moment were very interesting. We came together as a nation. There was no Republican, there was no Democrat. We were a nation that had been attacked, and we've been attacked by terrorists. That was the bottom line. So when we get into dissecting that situation and talking about that reality, what happened that day and that moment in time after 9/11, I'm a guy that wants to sit here and say, what happened to the spirit after 9/11? What happened to that moment? We can dissect these moments. We can dissect them, and we can say, we all came together. But then I almost think chinks in the armor, the notion that we were all based together, all working together, I think it kind of started to fall apart practically immediately. We went to war with a hard to specify target. We didn't, guys, I don't know if you guys remember this, but this is interesting, right? Our original endeavor didn't include Afghanistan, where we ended up spending 20 years as a response to terrorist activity. I think that's part of how we got where we're at. We also, and guys, you heard, probably some of you heard Larry talk about it last night. One of the things that also happened, the Patriot Act happened. The fear of terrorism was used to grow the power of the state. And as a libertarian, you know, I've been clear, I've been consistent, I will continue to be clear and consistent. The power of the state grew immensely, all under the guise of providing safety. And I'm not sure that there's all of it made sense at the time. All of it still kind of makes sense to me in a way, right? But going back to that day, those moments, that 9/12 mentality, that was an actually exceptional, wonderful time. So I could say wonderful time, right? That can be a little bit silly and a little bit confusing. But that moment where we decided that we were one nation, united, sad about this terrorist attack, and we still try to recreate that. Occasionally, every year, we talk about the anniversary of 9/11, and unfortunately, like the conclusions that we draw, that ending up in Afghanistan for 20 years, those things were a response to fear. And then the government promised us safety that it couldn't necessarily deliver. So these things where we're literally being spied on our phones, where the government has just participated in this massive overreach in the name of safety. The government response to COVID, okay, the government response to COVID, in effect, was brought about by the government response to 9/11. Those things are absolutely real. Those things are what I, in my heart, feel like we've got to do better as we move forward through history. And that's why I do the show, and that's why Larry does this show, and that's why I have great friends like Rich Bertal, Kevin Wilson, Andrew Hollister, Rich. Did I say Rich Patel?
Jim from Wayne County.
All right. And guys, I've got a guy calling in. Let's bring him on board and let's say hello.
Jim,
how you doing, buddy?
Good, Tim. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Is this Jimmy, Emmy, Liberty, one of my buddies I was just about to mention?
Yes, it is, Tim.
All right. So basically, you heard me talking about 9/11, 9/12, the whole issue. What do you to bring you on the show? What do you think about that stuff? Am I on the right track with that?
Yeah, I didn't catch the first half of you there, but yeah, it was definitely a heck of a mess. 9/11, I remember exactly where I was that day and what was going on, and didn't expect it to become a war for 20 years to begin with.
Unbelievable, right? That was the conclusion that we came to. And guys, like, I'm anti-war. I can hold several things in my mind at the same time, right? I can honor, respect, and offer my compassion and love and concern to people for the sacrifices that their families have made, for the sacrifices that my friends have made. I have friends, Jim, check this out. I have friends that they're my age. They want to go back to Afghanistan and help solve this problem of this messy end to our involvement in Afghanistan. And I'm like, guys, I don't want them going there. I don't want none of that. But to hold two things in your brain at one time is part of being a libertarian, right? Where you're saying the sacrifice these families have made is immense. It's tragic. The sacrifices that our young men and women have made to go serve in Afghanistan. Guys, and the operating procedures in Afghanistan create PTSD. I've had conversations with Shane Hazel about that. I've had conversations with real people about it that are close to me, and that's a reality. So to hold those two things in your mind, that to honor that sacrifice and to still hate war and to hate military action, I'm very comfortable there, and I want more people to get comfortable there. What do you think? Am I hogging all the information here, Em?
No, you're spot on. We definitely don't want war. We don't want to go to war. We don't want to be the world's police. But at the same time, a strong defense is kind of essential.
A strong national defense makes perfect sense to me. Where it gets convoluted, where it gets polluted, is that we take it overseas, we act on the behest of certain treaties. We are the world's policemen. We are the world's social workers with guns, and I find that to be an issue. Guys, we're coming up on a break. Jimmy, I hope you'll hang in there with me. I know you and I have some great things to talk about. Guys, this is a free solution, and I'm Tim O'Connor. And guys, there's comments. I'll get to the comments. Thank you all.
Your business relies on computers.
He's hanging on the line for you.
Slow, unreliable networks and servers can cause unplanned downtime and affect your bottom line. The experts at Simple Tech Innovations are here to help. Their preventative maintenance program ensures that your computers and network are kept up to date and monitored for any issues, keeping your business running smoothly. They also help clients achieve HIPAA, PCI, and New York State cybersecurity compliance to keep your network safe and secure. Whatever your business IT needs are, Simple Tech Innovations should be your first call. They've won the Best in Rochester 8 years in a row and have an A+ Better Business Bureau rating. Call them today for a free consultation at 585-200-3182. That's 585-200-3182. Simple Tech Innovations.
The Finger Lakes Castle team is in its 7th decade of factory direct service to the service professional. From cleaning the ins and outs of your vehicle to keeping you on the road, Castle's got you covered. Castle makes streak-proof glass cleaner, FDA-registered sanitizers, and EPA-registered hospital-grade disinfectants. Remember, when you need to keep it clean, use what the pros use. Castle. Accept no substitutes.
A message from the National Police Association. It used to be that any able-bodied person would offer to assist a police officer in danger. Now, passersby are more likely to take a video. There's a better use for your phone when an officer's in trouble. Call 911. Tell the operator where you are and what you see. Then, start your video to provide evidence later. To learn more about how you can assist law enforcement, visit nationalpolice.org. That's nationalpolice.org.
Why do businesses choose to move their website from Wix and Squarespace to SimpleTech Innovations? Maybe it's their excellent customer service or attention to detail. Maybe it's their ability to give a truly customized solution. Or perhaps they just like the fact that SimpleTech is a local small business that builds great relationships with its clients. Whatever the reason.
By the way, I
may
was just
be,
chit-chatting
you
with
can
Bob
rest assured
Savage,
knowing that the local team at SimpleTech
when
has
9/11
your
hit.
best interest
We
in
were
mind when
nonstop
building or updating your
news
website. They're
and
hands-on
information
and
without
love
commercials
helping
for about
customers
3 or
achieve their
4
goals.
days.
But don't take my word for it. They've won the best in Rochester. 8
At that
years in a
time, we
row.
were
They have
affiliated with
A+
AP
Better
All
Business
News
Bureau
Radio.
rating. If your website doesn't match your dreams or isn't achieving your goals, give the professionals at
All we did
SimpleTech
is break
Innovations
him
a
with
call
legal
today
ID
for a
at the top of each
consultation
hour.
at
Stand by.
585-200-3182. That's 585-200-3182. SimpleTech Innovations.
A free solution.
All right, guys, it's still Tim O'Connor live on WYSL, live all over the internet. This is a free solution. And so, guys, I was just talking about Afghanistan, and I know you've heard it all. And my big thing is the lack of unity. And a comment came in online while we were out there. I think it was the last bit of unity that I seen. I can remember, guys, I was not a politically motivated guy. I was something of an independent, something of a kind of a neocon. Some of these things going to Iran and Iraq and talking about North Korea as an axis of evil made some sense in my emotional mind. Now I've grown since then, and I've evolved since then. And so that's why I got into that point of I can hold two things in my mind consecutively, and I feel that that's important. So James says it was, I think it was the last bit of unity that I've seen. Jimmy, you still there, bud? Jim, you there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
All right. So our friend James Vanderwalker, who's also a libertarian and actually an elected libertarian, says she thinks that 9/12, that whole time after 9/11, was the last bit of unity that we've seen. What do you think about that?
Yeah, 9/12 was a beautiful thing. You couldn't find a flag to buy anywhere. Everybody was, there was no politics in it at that point. Everybody was unified and, standing shoulder to shoulder for the most part.
I agree with that. I absolutely, it was a rare, beautiful experience. And again, I know you and I are kind of on the same wavelength with the surveillance state and the promises of safety from our government that they simply cannot deliver on, but how they try to deliver on it is by limiting our rights and raising our taxes. So, I think, I know you and I have shared time on the Legislative Affairs Committee with our mutual friend, Rich Kurtel.
Yep.
And so I think you have some things going on that you may want to talk about. And that's why I reached out to you today. So why don't we go ahead and break into that?
All right. Which part?
Yeah. So, all right, guys. So as I think so many people in New York State know that Governor Cuomo handed down one of his last final ridiculously authoritarian acts was to mandate vaccines for healthcare workers. And I think that's, guys, let's talk about the law of unintended consequences for just a second. Like, did Andrew Cuomo actually want to create a healthcare crisis where we lack people to staff facilities? Did he actually want to do that? Or was he just, one more virtue signal without actually thinking things through? So let me hand you the ball for a minute, and you take it what direction you want to go in, Jim.
All right. Yeah, unintended consequences are pretty much every aspect of every law passed in the last 100 years. Nobody's got any foresight when they're writing these laws. And they write them in such a way that the average Joe can't understand what they're trying to say or what they're trying to accomplish with them. With the healthcare workers, I want to believe that, you know, he was thinking it was, you know, doing it for the right reasons, but at the same
Virtuous
time,
reasons.
I hate mandates, period.
Yeah.
And yeah, obviously there's plenty of other people like-minded as we are that obviously don't like the mandates either. And so now we're cutting our healthcare system by 25% of, or maybe more than that, of people that have years and years of experience in there, and they do care about the patients. And they went from heroes last year to now, you know, everybody thinks they're trying to kill grandma. Well, we had that unintended consequence as well, thanks to ex-Governor Cuomo there. And plenty of grandparents died in nursing homes.
Yeah, and Hochul's following right in his footsteps. And guys, I want to be very, very clear about something. Nurses, no matter how much money you pay them, are not adequately compensated, because here's one of the deals that these people that want to mandate certain behaviors that they for them to engage in, here's one of the things that they don't understand. The hours that those predominantly women, but lots of men too, work are phenomenal. They can get stuck working 24, 36, 48 hours straight. That's reality. And then you want to tell them, you want to force them to confront COVID without a vaccine, without proper PPE. And now you want to force them to get a vaccine that they already survived this whole disaster, the COVID outbreak. Now you want to force them to take a vaccine that they have no interest in. I've got to be honest. Our elected leaders, our centralized government simply does not understand the plight of the common man. Again, Jim, am I crazy? What do you say? I
No,
feel
you're not
when I
crazy
say
at
stuff
all.
like this.
You're not crazy at all. We, in a free country, you should have the right to choose, right? I mean,
correct.
It's that simple to me. I mean, it may be a little more difficult for others to understand that philosophy, but and to have the right to choose needs to be right across the board. I mean, if you're not hurting people or taking their stuff, then there should be no problem with their choice. And they shouldn't be segregated, or, you know,
Viciously
they shouldn't have to
put
use a
down,
different
guys.
drinking
I
fountain.
will say that I am cool with people being pro-vaccine. I am cool with people being anti-vaccine. I want politeness. I want respect. I want communication to come back in. At this point, right, the way that we're being forced to consider this vaccine is an issue for me. Okay. I'm not saying the vaccine's good. I'm not saying it's bad. I've read lots and lots of studies and lots of articles on it. One of my critiques of it is that an mRNA vaccine is very one-dimensional when it comes to building immunity. There, we can talk about that another show, but right now, Jim and I are arguing for freedom. You got some proactive stuff going on, don't you?
I sure do. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on in Wayne County, Monroe County, right now. There's a group called Moms for Liberty, which I was recently introduced to, and been working with Moms for Liberty here in Wayne County a little bit recently, and yeah, they are pretty much. Well, how they started was there was two moms in Florida in the same district. They left our board at our district because they felt like they could make a bigger change from the outside because they were seeing too much nonsense going on within the district there, and it fired right up. Now there's Moms for Liberty in over 25 states and something like 78 local chapters across the country.
Wow.
They're fighting for mostly educational, freedom.
Yeah.
mandating masks in school when you could go out to a restaurant or whatever, that's fine. But they want all our kids to wear masks for, 8 hours a day or whatever for the entire school day. And
I hope
it's
that
just not
backfires
healthy,
their
in my
face, I gotta
opinion.
be honest. I hope that the kids wake up and realize that the system as it stands right now is not working for them. I hope they realize their reality about this whole virus, that they're kind of being put in a very, very awkward position. So one of my issues, Jim, check this out, and I want to be straight up, is that we have a lot of groups forming to protest the government response to COVID. I think we'll talk more about it after the break. I'm going to read some stuff from the Libertarian Party. I'm going to read some stuff that I sent to our crew at the Libertarian Executive Committee. And bro, will you hang out for another segment? I'm really enjoying.
I will, yeah.
All right, guys. It's Tim O'Connor. It's Jimmy Dayton. Amy Liberty. Guys, I hope you hang with us. I got a bunch of things that I want to talk about. We'll be back after these messages.
Fly the flag, stand for freedom. AM 1040 Avon Rochester, FM 92.1 Rochester, and FM 95.5.
Okay, you got a 5-minute break?
Here's the latest forecast from the News 10 NBC Weather Center for tonight. We'll see a chance of some showers and thunderstorms developing, especially during the overnight hours. Could be a strong gusty storm with some lightning and downpours. Warm nights staying in the 60s. On your Wednesday, showers and storms will linger midday, early afternoon, clearing late, cooler, low 70s, back to sunshine. Some nice weather on Thursday. I'm Rich Canilia, WYSL.
Hi, this is Gary Mervis, founder of Camp Good Days. September is Prostate Cancer Awareness Month, and I want to encourage all men, especially those that are 50 and older, to talk to their physician about their prostate health. As men, we don't typically think about our prostate or what it even does until it becomes a problem. Speaking from personal experience, I can tell you that keeping track of your prostate health should be a priority. In order to make sure your prostate is in good shape, your doctor can give a digital exam or order a simple blood test to check your PSA levels. If something is wrong, the best option is to get answers is a biopsy. Prostate cancer is one of the most frequently diagnosed cancer and second leading cause of cancer death in American men. It's very treatable if caught early enough. However, the best form of treatment is being proactive with your doctor. Camp Good Days hosted a number of men's prostate cancer retreats. With the help of Dr. Gene Joseph, chair of the Department of Urology at the University of Rochester, and Louis Eichel, chief of urology at the division in Rochester General Hospital. For more information, call our office at 624-5555 or visit campgooddays.org.
FM Talk. What's with those injury attorney TV ads these days? Seems like they're in a race to see who can put more lawyer faces on the screen. Even with an 80-inch TV, you can't make them out. What's the point? Maybe they're trying to impress with who's biggest, but it ends up looking like an undergrad photo in your school yearbook, or maybe a dating site from hell. Of course, the one attorney that matters to you is the one who's helping you put your life back together after a personal injury or a motorcycle
Hey,
accident,
Tim,
or handling your DWI.
I think you'll appreciate this. Don't say anything on the air about it. But in the other studio, they're getting ready to do an interview for another show with Oliver North.
At this number, instead of getting lost in the crowd, you'll get
Colonel Paul Simonelli, who does Valor Radio on our station. Paul Simonelli's a retired Army colonel, and he's an attorney. He's doing the interview. I think it's kind of cool.
Your business relies on computers and technology to operate. Slow, unreliable networks and servers can cause unplanned downtime and affect your bottom line. The experts at Simple Tech Innovations are here to help. Their preventative maintenance program ensures that your computers and network are kept up to date and monitored for any issues, keeping your business running smoothly. They also help clients achieve HIPAA, PCI, and New York State cybersecurity compliance to keep your network safe.
Like I
and
said, right
secure.
for now, it's
Whatever your
on the
business
QT
IT
till it
needs
airs.
are, Simple Tech
Hang on, I'll be right
Innovations
back.
should be your first call. They've won the Best in Rochester 8 years in a row and have an A+ Better Business Bureau rating. Call them today for a free consultation at 585-200-3182. That's 585-200-3182. Simple Tech Innovations.
What does it mean to bank locally with Tompkins? It means keeping your money in your community with a team of neighbors to guide you through big decisions and milestones, plus all the convenience of our mobile app where you can manage your account, deposit checks remotely, send money to family and friends, even turn your card off if it gets misplaced, then back on when you find it. Ready to bank locally with the team at Tompkins? Visit Tompkins Bank of Castile online or at a branch to get started. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
What does it mean to make it yours at Roberts Wesleyan College? It means participation in high-level athletic competition. It's availability of faculty and sports staff in a personal setting. It's providing broad experiences and the skills and knowledge needed for a winning future. Do you have it? To learn more about Rochester's only NCAA Division II athletics scholarship program, visit robertsredhawks.com. Red Hawk Athletics, make it yours.
What does it mean to drive a Honda True Pre
All right,
vehicle
last
by
spot.
Ralph Honda? It means you'll drive a car that's passed a rigorous 182-point inspection by Honda certified technicians, backed by a powertrain warranty to give you peace of mind. For 3 generations, Ralph Honda.
A free solution.
All right, welcome back. It's Tim O'Connor. This is a free solution. I want to do a little shouting out to all the comments that I'm receiving online. And first of all, thank you very much to Jimmy Dayton for joining me today. But look, my buddy Ryan Bedford made some great comments. I want to point one out. I might be a little bit crazy, but I'm not wrong. He also said you can love your country and disagree with your government. And I think those things are important to remember. My buddy Andrew Hamill, guys, he's a great kid. He fights for liberty in his own way. He tries really hard. He's making some great comments about stuff he's seeing on the TV, the CDC. And guys, as you know, I'm not a big fan of TV. They literally seek to stimulate you into response, action, and emotional problems. My buddy Ken Williams has another good comment. Laws are passed by legislation, not mandates or emergency directives. And guys, I think in New York and probably in the country right now, we have to take a look at the executive orders being handed down in this dystopian response to the COVID crisis, locking down our communities, locking down our businesses. And in New York, we hit ourselves particularly hard, the executive committee. But Jimmy Dayton and I warned you guys about the HEROES Act, and you heard Rich Bertel and I talk about it last Thursday, like how it was going to be used to force unfunded mandates on small businesses. And here it is. They have a list of things that small businesses have to do to comply with new COVID regulations. Jim, you still there, bud?
I am.
All right. So we were talking about Moms for Freedom, and I started to delve into this concept, and I want your opinion on it. This issue that I see is that we are almost collaborating or cooperating with the notion. Let me see if I can I want to put a fine point on this. We're collaborating with the notion that we should all be in small, divided groups and not like Moms for Liberty. It's just, and guys, believe me, like, don't take this the wrong way. All right. Moms for Liberty, Patriots for Medical Freedom. There's an issue there. Do you think, or what do you think?
Yeah. We've got all these subdivisions that are fighting for our liberties and our freedoms, whether it be the healthcare workers in the medical field, or whether it be in Liberty. They're going pretty strong here in Wayne County, trying to get out to these school boards, make a difference, get these school boards to kind of open their eyes and, remember that we as a local community should be in charge of ourselves as a local community, and we don't need the state forcing things down our throat, regardless of what our beliefs are.
I agree with you. So on that note, I want to read a comment by, guys, the Libertarian Party of New York. Okay. The Libertarian Party of New York opposes President Biden's vaccine mandates, urges the preservation of bodily and medical freedom. And guys, I've said it before. I'm going to say it again right now. Fighting for medical freedom is great, but that is not enough freedom for me. Okay. So this is by Tony D'Orazio. He's a hardworking, he's the vice chair. He's a great guy. Let me put this out there. President Joe Biden last week issued 2 executive orders requiring vaccination against COVID-19 for federal workers in the executive branch and federal contractors. He also announced the Department of Labor is developing an emergency rule requiring businesses with 100 or more employees to ensure their workers. Guys, just be employee number 100, you're losing your job. Just some comments from me. The Libertarian Party of New York was quick to denounce these measures. Cody Anderson, chair of the LPNY, articulated the party's position. These federal mandates are an abuse of presidential power, Anderson explained. And guys, it's hard to deny that the Constitution does not grant him the authority to issue these mandates, but he's taking advantage of the fact that to get to the Supreme Court and overturn his ruling is practically, it's a near impossibility. It takes years to get there. They are blatant infringement. I'm going back to Cody's comments, Jim, if you don't mind. They are blatant infringement upon the individual's rights to guide their own health care. These decrees require disclosure of protected health information against one's will and mandate a medical treatment without regard for personal choice or circumstance. Like the HHS eviction moratorium imposed, and there's another one that's a hot button for me. Sorry, guys, I don't mean to laugh, but that's so annoying. The Department of Labor's proposed emergency rule is government overreach of the worst kind. The latest policy harms business owners by making them spend time and treasure enforcing tyrannical, and guys, he means unfunded mandates, time and treasure enforcing tyrannical government edicts. This autocratic, and I love the word autocratic, guys. This is great. The bureaucracy just automatically takes charge. This autocratic approach was used by former Governor Cuomo and caused thousands of businesses across New York State to permanently close since March 2020. Guys, that's a real blow. Okay, that's we cannot overstate that. Biden's policy will put gainfully employed people out on the street, further hamper an already reluctant labor force from returning to work, and wreck the national economy. Furthermore, this overly broad mandate does not take into account virtual and geographically distributed companies with no physical or heavily staffed location. And all of these things are great. Dude, Cody's he's a policy wonk, man. He's brilliant. Lastly, Biden's policy announcements disproportionately impact. And guys, you need to hear this in your soul. Disproportionately impact minority communities and reflect a failure to recognize the historical reasons causing many people of color to distrust the government. Okay. That's real. Don't pretend it isn't. Get with it. Considering the vaccination rates in minority communities are closer to 40%, while the vaccination rate in Caucasian population is over 60%, it's ironic that Democrats are celebrating a policy that will put many minorities out of a job. If Biden's policies were truly based on science rather than politically motivated hysteria, he wouldn't have exempted. He would not have exempted. And guys, this is big. He would not have exempted postal employees from this directive. Common sense and rationality does not exist in the White House. Accordingly, is not reflected in its dictatorial policies. What do you think about that? That's pretty strong words from our chairperson. What do you? I like it. What do you think?
I love it. I love the press releases coming out from the LPNY. There's a lot of them, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot more.
There are going to be a lot more. And hey, thank you, Brian Sutton, out there in the internet world, sending us a comment. I do see this is more of a libertarian debate. So I'm gonna leave this for another time. But Brian, I want you to know that I appreciate you watching this show. I'm sharing it over the internet. We can talk about this in another show. I think the point he's making is important. It's not necessarily pertain to our topic. So, Amy, I'll admit to a certain amount of frustration. And so I expressed it this way because I reached out to our executive committee and I want your feedback because, first of all, I respect your opinion and I want you guys out there to hear what I had to say, okay? Because I think it's important. I would like to offer some commentary on the current dystopian environment we find ourselves in. In any battle, including our battle for freedom and liberty, we should seek the high ground. We should seek allies and we should offer strong messaging. As for fighting for freedom, the Libertarian Party already has the high ground. We actively fought lockdowns. We fought the centralization of power, and we are currently fighting for medical freedom. We should claim a leadership role in this battle because we are leaders in fighting for freedom and have been doing so all along. There's no maybes when it comes to us. Don't you agree with that?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we stick by our principles and we take them right across the board. It doesn't matter what the topic is for the most part.
We, and as a Libertarian Party, I, okay, as a member of the Libertarian Party, welcome others to this fight, okay? And I thank them, unironically, guys, because you guys, if you pay any attention at all, I unironically thank them for their service. But we should also let them know that despite the odds being stacked against the Libertarian Party, despite legal chicanery, despite actual fear-mongering malfeasance by our current feckless legislators and the clowns in the executive branch, and sometimes I can guess, if you've watched any of my shows, sometimes you know I can go off a little bit. So I'm trying to be mellow here. But all right, the cause in the executive branch, that medical freedom, while worth fighting for, and it is worth fighting for, okay, is not freedom enough for the Libertarian Party. Both parties have failed miserably when it comes to property rights, Second Amendment rights, burdens of taxation, medical freedom, and the overriding aspect of liberty. We stand against mandates like we did against red flag laws, like we did against lockdowns, like we did against Cuomo and his horrendous power grabbing, and like we did stand for cannabis legalization, which frankly, guys, there's still more work to do. I want to challenge people to ask themselves if their parties even offer a glimmer of any kind of real leadership in those arenas. This is a moment in history. We have an opportunity. Let's all work together, all of your freedoms, all of the time. We are libertarians because we know these parties fail in every measure of freedom. I ask, what do you think? Did I go over the top there? And I know, like Brett Bedford said, I might be crazy, but I may not be wrong. What do you think, Bob?
And both parties know that we will work together with them when we can agree.
Yeah, I agree. And I do see this fractured group approach as a potential opportunity for us to kind of help people. Oh, let's guys coming up on a break. Emmy, brother, you need some more time on the air. You need to talk some more. So I hope you stay with me for one more segment. What do you say, brother?
All right, you got me.
All right, man.
Why do businesses choose to move their website from Wix and Squarespace to SimpleTech Innovations? Maybe it's their excellent customer service or attention to detail. Maybe it's their ability to give a truly customized solution. Or perhaps they just like the fact that SimpleTech is a local small business that builds great relationships with its clients. Whatever the reason may be, you can rest assured knowing that the local team at SimpleTech has your best interest in mind when building or updating your website. They're hands-on and love helping customers achieve their goals. But don't take my word for it. They've won the best in Rochester 8 years in a row and have an A+ Better Business Bureau rating. If your website doesn't match your dreams or isn't achieving your goals, give the professionals at SimpleTech Innovations a call today for a consultation at 585-200-3182. That's 585-200-3182. SimpleTech Innovations.
Hi, my name is Ryan Bourne,
And I'm Danica Bourne.
and we're the owners of South Coast Tax. We would like to thank our Lord for protecting us from evil. Psalm 91 states, He is my refuge and my fortress, for He will rescue us from every trap and protect us from deadly disease.
South Coast Tax are Christian-based tax accountants and attorneys who specialize in releasing bank levies, wage garnishments, and filing complex tax returns. We are the leaders in acceptance of offers and compromise with awesome results.
We are also a small firm who will treat you like family and not just a number.
Call us today at 1-800-TAX-1176 for a free consultation, and we'll take the time to explain all the programs that you qualify for in order to allow you a fresh start.
In John 8:36, so if the Son sets you free, you will be free indeed. And one way we can achieve that is by being debt-free. So let us help you today. Call us at 1-800-TAX-1176, and together we can help achieve this goal by putting the IRS tax debt behind you for good. Again, that number is 1-800-TAX-1176.
Your business relies on computers and technology to operate. Slow, unreliable networks and servers can cause unplanned downtime and affect your bottom line. The experts at Simple Tech Innovations are here to help. Their preventative maintenance program ensures that your computers and network are kept up to date.
All right, so you're gonna have 9 minutes left, and the moment you hear the music, don't even give your caller a chance to say anything, because when the music plays, there's only 30 seconds, and you have to be out in 20.
Network safe and secure.
Thanks.
Whatever your business IT needs are, Simple Tech
You're welcome.
Innovations should be your first call. They've won the best.
I, of course, will give you a 2 and a 1 minute warning.
Better Business Bureau rating.
You're
Call
welcome.
them today for a free consultation at 585-200-3182. That's 585-200-3182. Simple Tech Innovations.
A free solution.
All right, everybody, welcome back. This is Jim O'Connor. I am kicking it with Jimmy Dayton, Emmy Liberty. Emmy, I promise you some talking time. What do you want to say to the folks out there?
Oh, I want to see some people get a little more active. I know there's a lot of people out there just steaming up, and there's a good way to do that by trying to get in touch with the Moms for Liberty. They have a Facebook page that you can go to and check them out. You can message them there if you'd like. There's Moms for Liberty Wayne County, which is the county that I live in, and they're a great bunch, getting out to board meetings at school districts, fighting for our children like people need to do right now.
Yeah, my kid hates wearing a mask, and I've got to be honest. He's a healthy 15-year-old, and I have not gotten vaccinated, but he wanted to get vaccinated. I thought it over, and I certainly respect his decision there. So he's vaccinated, fully vaccinated. And guys, I'll tell you what, this Bears reporting thing makes me think of my kid, because he got vaccinated, and the second time he got vaccinated, he was sick for a week. So I don't think that the vaccine per se is dangerous, but I don't think it's going to work for everybody. And I think we're going to come up on a big test this winter of whether the vaccine is effective or not. So he hates wearing a mask, and I don't know what he's going to do about it. What do you think, Jim? What should he do?
I can definitely tell you, I had to go pick up my kid. He's 15.
I love it.
He has he's in a special needs program. He refused to wear his mask today. He came to me yesterday and said he was sick of the mask. It makes him want to puke when he puts it on. And it's a fresh mask every day. It's not like one we're pulling out of the dirty laundry for him. But so he's sick of it. And I told him, I go, if you want to refuse it, that's up to you. And I'll stand behind you as far as that goes.
I offered my kid the same thing. I will support whatever decision he wants to make. I don't think that making these kids wear masks makes any sense. Well, especially they can watch a college football game and see, no one in a mask. I think that this authoritarian response to COVID for kids that are not at risk is a real problem. I have a question for you, Jim, and maybe you can help me out. We have a lot of libertarians that are very, very, very pro-vaccine. to the point of I want to counsel them. Have you noticed any of that? Like pro-vaccine libertarians? What do you think about that?
Yes, and for the most part, the ones that I've noticed and that I've seen, you know, they're pro-vaccine. They wanna tell you that you should get it and stuff like that. But at the same time, they do not like the mandates. So they're still sticking with their principles. They're advertising, you know, that they believe that you should get the vaccine, and that's fine. But they're sticking to their principles. They're not wishing death on people that don't want the vaccine like other people are right now.
Yeah, they can be a little bit impolite, though, brother. I'll be honest with you. I think that, and I want to talk to those libertarians in particular, guys. Here's a reality: you don't have to like it. I hope that you accept it. Politics is a popularity contest. Every single thing we do is a popularity contest. And guys, it costs nothing to be nice to people that you don't particularly agree with. Also, and guys, you've heard me talk about this before, and Jimmy, I want your input on this. I think that people that are anti-vaccination deserve respect, just like people that are pro-vaccination. What do you think about that? And that as a general statement?
Absolutely. All people should be able to respect other people. We're all humans. We're not going to think the same. We're not going to have the same opinions. That's just the way life works. I mean, we all got to deal with it, and we just can't guilt people or attack people for having a different view than us.
Yes,
we can try to convince each other.
Right? Where no one in America would attack anyone. And now here we are with a government and with a guys, AOC wearing a dress that says tax the rich. Okay, guys, I just had to mention that today. What an embarrassment. Okay, so shout out to Paula Andrew with a great comment. I have no problem with anyone who takes the vaccine or wants others to take the vaccine. Like so many people are saying, I am pro-vaccine, but not pro-mandate. It seems fine to me. That seems like a reasonable way. How do we get back there, Jim? What do you say?
Well, it's going to be easier for some and much harder for others.
It is. It is.
That's where I'm at with that.
Yeah, but as a Libertarian Party, and guys, you know, hopefully on Thursday we have a very active Libertarian who's trying to meld and mesh a bunch of groups together, and he's going to spend some time on the show. I may have to pre-record, guys, because I do have to chase the almighty dollar, just like you, Jimmy, man. That's why I appreciate you sharing this this moment in time with me. But guys, I want you to make sure you try to check out Thursday's show. So again, Jim, I think we're striking a pretty good tone here. What do you think?
I think so. Everybody deserves respect, and you don't have to agree with them. It's pretty simple.
It seems simple to me, and I think that again, I know I'm being repetitive, guys, and I apologize, but September 12th, 2001, everybody got respect. Here we are 20 years later, and I can't lie, okay? We've lost some amount of respect for each other. We create fights where none exist, or where they shouldn't exist, and we make fun of each other where there should just actually be respect and compassion, you know?
Yeah, we've lost a lot of compassion over these last 20 years.
Yeah. Isn't it because of the 24-hour news cycle and the desperation of all
2
of
minutes.
these news agencies to sell advertising? What do you think about that?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely it is. And it doesn't matter what side, you know, you got CNN on the far left and Fox on the pushing far right. And it doesn't really matter which one you're watching. They're just trying to get people to buy commercial space and make their money.
I agree. I've sensed for a number of years a desperation in the mainstream media to because social media is such a direct competitor with it, right? Yeah. So they want people to engage with their content. So one of the ways to get people to engage with things is to stimulate emotional responses. That's very annoying to me. Amy, I think I'm gonna kind of take us out here.
1
You got
minute.
any words before we go, and then I'm going to conclude.
Stay free. We'll be
Stay
talking
free.
again, I'm
I
sure.
love it, brother. Look, I want to thank you, Bud, for joining me today and spending some time here this afternoon. We have to explore and explode and talk about freedom, medical freedom. Again, guys, I want to be very clear. That is not freedom enough for me. We have failed in New York State in relieving the burdens of taxation. We have failed in New York State in teaching people to be nice to each other. We have failed in New York State in maintaining a crop of people to continue with our business prospects as we're chasing people out of state, millions and millions of us. Guys, this is a free solution. I subbed in for Larry Sharp today. I gotta be honest, I'm so impressed with all the comments. I appreciate all of them. Hopefully you'll join me on Thursday for more of this. And guys, thank you all for being here. This is a free solution.
Springwater Amish.
I had to pat you down right before you said take care because I was running out of music. Yeah, when you hear the music, there's 30 seconds. So the best thing to do is be out in 20 because it's nice having at least 5 to 10 seconds of music at the end. All right. Have a good one. We'll talk to you Thursday. Bye.
Outdoor lawn furniture makes outstanding Christmas gifts for mom and dad and a great surprise for your wife or husband. We'll store it for you until Christmas. We're your headquarters for
Hey, thank you all for joining me today. It was great. I am about to sign off. I've got some errands to run. The comments, the questions, the likes, the shares. It's huge. It's how we get more people to see everything that we're trying to do. Had a wonderful time today. I will probably have to record the show for Thursday, but guys, I think it will be informative and important. And again, thanks to Jimmy, thanks to Larry, thanks to all of you.
And serve it with
You
just
guys
made
take care.
coleslaw. Will you join us with your family?